Good afternoon and welcome back to RMU-Live for Friday, March 16th, 2017. I'm Gage Golding.
And I'm Reagan Check. Here's what's happening now.
Connor Lamb secured a victory in the Pennsylvania 18th Congressional District special election Tuesday. This victory gives Democrats a House seat in an area that Donald Trump won by nearly 20 points in the 2016 presidential election. Rick Saccone was Lamb's opposing Republican candidate. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf is asking for the public's help as he and his administration are looking for ways to make schools in the Keystone State safer. Wolf and his staff plan to collect concerns about safety and ideas about policy change to see if any additional funding would help. The governor also plans to review the state's requirements for active shooter drills.
Saraville Public School District in New Jersey plans to punish students who participated in the nationwide walkout, claiming that it put kids in danger and was a risk to school safety. Behind me, you can see various pictures of the nationwide walkout from Pittsburgh schools.
Over 220 students in a Pennsylvania school were issued detention after they participated in a national walkout day on Wednesday. I sat down with some students to get their side of the story. Administrators handed out disciplinary actions to students for participating in National Walkout Day on Wednesday, March 14th. March 14th marks the one-month anniversary of the shooting that killed 17 students in Parkland, Florida.
You know, some were scared, some were angry. Just Parkland was a boiling point for us, just like it was for the students involved in it. We were inspired by those student activists.
We walked out and we got notified that we were getting Saturday morning detention.
With a heavy heart, they were signing all of these detention slips. So the administration itself, they initially agreed to walk out to the field, but that was kind of squandered by some members of the school board who changed it to the remembrance ceremony.
How did the hundreds and hundreds of other schools throughout this country that participated in an event, how did they get around their school board? How did they circumvent whatever provisions are in their handbook regarding leaving a school building during the school day?
Anna and Sean both say that their parents are proud of them for standing up for what they believe in and doing what they think is right.
My parents, they're pretty proud of me. After the school board made it clear that they weren't willing to compromise, my mom turned to me and said, just walk out, just face the consequences.
Mother of 3 children at Penridge High School, Diane Herring, thinks the school is correct in issuing disciplinary action against the students who disobeyed school policy.
I'm not opposed to the idea at all that schools need to be safer. What I sense today is a lot of people coming after the district and the decision to stand by district policy.
Penridge High School did host a school board meeting on Monday and discussed what options were available for students to partake in the National Walkout Day and came up with an inside the school assembly as they deemed walking outside of the school just simply was not safe.
I'm going to wear this detention as a badge of honor. I came back in my class with my discipline referral and I was happy, I was proud.
Most of the students that I talked to on Skype or FaceTime as well as on Twitter were okay with getting these detentions and were fully accepting of the punishment. Some parents reached out to me via email to stress their concern.
Moon Township parks are now tobacco-free. The parks are now participating in Young Lungs at Play, which is a program that aims to create tobacco-free public parks, playing fields, and playgrounds to eliminate children's exposure to secondhand smoke. Signs will be posted in all Moon Township parks and play lots. And Moon Township Police Department is investigating 2 robberies at a Unimart in Moon Township. The first robbery occurred on Monday around 1:41 p.m. and the second on Friday around 8:04 p.m. The same man is responsible for both robberies. Both times he displayed his gun. Police say he is a white man about 5 foot 11 inches to 6 feet with a slender to medium build.
A 950-ton pedestrian bridge at the Florida International University collapsed yesterday in Miami, killing at least 6 people. First responders recovered at least 6 bodies from the scene and 9 others were taken to the hospital. This bridge was newly installed and was scheduled to open in early 2019.
An IUP student spoke out against his professor during class. Let's look at how this is affecting him now. This story is continuing to be spread nationwide and has even been featured on Fox News.
An update now on the deadly package bombings in Austin, Texas. Police say they have now received almost 500 phone calls reporting a suspicious package. None of the calls have turned out to be dangerous, but Austin police is warning residents to stay vigilant.
Now with a quick look at weather, Tyler Schlendorn. It's been pretty cold lately. Any chance it's going to warm up soon?
Thanks, guys. Although we are in March, it is still very cold out here. We're looking at about 20 degrees right now, but luckily we're not dealing with any more snow for the rest of the day, and hopefully it will start to warm up over the week. I'll be sure to answer these questions and more later on the show.
And for all you need to know about news, sports, arts, and entertainment at Robert Morris and around the Pittsburgh area, visit RMU-CenturyMedia.com.
Coming up, a chemical warfare. Whose side did the U.S. take?
And Syria takes over Damascus, leaving survivors running for their lives.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Here at Robert Morris University, we pride ourselves at the experience that our students gain while they're actively learning in the classroom. Some even come back to share that knowledge with new students.
I never dreamed that I'd be back here. I'm having so much fun. I'm doing a lot of what I was trained to do and what I went to school for.
The Colonial Sports Network is a great opportunity for students to learn real job skills in sports programming.
To be able to see what the students want to make of it, because it can be anything that they want.
I love being here, seeing students, seeing myself in the students that work with me, and I'm really blessed to have so much talent to work with. It's really amazing.
To be able to see students become successful after Robert Morris is really cool.
Join the Colonial Sports Network team and expand your future today.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
The United States and two other European allies sided with Britain. Britain's claim that Russia was responsible for a chemical toxin attack against a former spy living in England. A statement from the leaders of France, Germany, the United States, and Britain puts pressure on Russia for using a nerve agent for the first time since World War II.
Thousands of people evacuated the eastern Ghouta suburb of Damascus on Thursday after Syrian forces stormed a town in the biggest rebel stronghold near the capital. The departures came after an overnight blitz of airstrikes that left civilians and fighters scrambling to escape. Syria is entering the 8th year of war. And Saudi Arabia's future king, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, has been hiding his mother's whereabouts to his father. U.S. officials believe he is motivated by a belief that she opposed his ascendancy to the throne and was going to use her power as King Salman's third wife to prevent it. King Salman says that he misses his wife, but states that his son shows a willingness to remove what he perceives as obstacles to his role as future king.
The children's toy giant retailer Toys R Us is now closing all of its stores in the United States. With more on the story is John Lornick.
There's so much to love at Toys R Us.
It's the end of an era.
It's the biggest toy store there is. Gee whiz!
Toys R Us, the iconic retailer, will shut down or sell all of its nearly 800 stores in the United States, which means there will not be a new generation of Toys R Us kids.
I wanna grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with.
The announcement comes 6 months after Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy and 2 months after announcing plans to close nearly 200 stores.
There are a lot of concerns about retailers that are facing intense competition from, of course, Amazon and also Walmart, and it's just a very difficult time for some of these specialty retailers.
The collapse of Toys R Us will likely have a ripple effect.
This is bad news for Hasbro and Mattel. The two big toy makers get about 10% of their revenues from Toys R Us.
In addition to that, about 33,000 American jobs are at risk. Toys R Us hasn't earned a full-year profit in 6 years and has lost $2.5 billion since then. Analysts believe Toys R Us also didn't have strong sales during the 2017 holiday season. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The store has not released a time when when all stores will officially close its doors.
Protests were being held across Brazil after Marielle Franco, 38, a popular Rio City councilor, and her driver were shot dead by two men in what appears to be a targeted assassination. Franco was a politician who had become a voice for disadvantaged people. She was an expert on police violence, a member of a leftist party, and was also known for her social work.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau confirmed with President Donald Trump, ensuring Trump that the U.S. does not have a trade deficit with its northern neighbor. The president confirmed that he did make up information in a meeting with Trudeau.
Saskatchewan is proposing to set the legal age to consume cannabis at 19. However, minors caught with less than 5 grams will not result in a criminal record. They are also proposing a zero-tolerance policy for drug-impaired drivers and a ban on consuming cannabis in public places. And South Africa has launched an ATM-like machine to dispense medicines to patients with chronic illnesses such as AIDS in a move aimed at reducing waiting times. It works like a cash ATM and allows patients to speak with pharmacists located at a call center by using a telephone receiver. Many patients are already saying how useful the ATM pharmacy is.
The law firm at the center of the Panama Papers global tax evasion scandal has said it's now closing its doors. The company says the closure is mainly due to reputational damage and will begin to shut down operations. One of the company's highlighted clients was Argentinian soccer star Lionel Messi.
Stephen W. Hawking, the Cambridge University physicist and best-selling author, died at his home at the age of 76. In 1963, Hawking learned that he had amyotrophic sclerosis, a neuromuscular wasting disease, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, and was only given a few years to live.
The Food and Drug Administration took the first step to reduce nicotine in cigarettes Thursday. The move is to help make cigarettes increasingly less addictive.
And be sure to tune in to our other shows, RMU-Live Mondays at 1 p.m. and Fridays at noon, Sports Talk in the Berg and RMU Tonight Wednesdays at 5 p.m., and Colonial Sports Center Thursday at 9:30 p.m. here on RMU-TV. And coming up, Tyler Schlendorn in our Weather Center.
And Nick Hederick with sports. All this and more coming up next.
Hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to RMU-Live. I am Nick Hedrick, and it is time to talk sports. Here in Pittsburgh, the Penguins continue to battle with the Washington Capitals for the Metropolitan Division lead. The teams are tied with 87 points apiece. This tie is the result of the Penguins' win over the Montreal Canadiens last night. Patrick Hornquist scored 2 goals and added an assist in what was a huge 3-point game for him. The Penguins went on to win 5-3. Their next game will be on Tuesday when they take on the New York Islanders. And in RMU sports, the men's hockey team will travel to Rochester to take on Mercyhurst in the Atlantic Hockey Tournament semifinals. This follows a huge quarterfinal sweep of Holy Cross, where the Colonials outscored the Crusaders 9-1. The game against Mercyhurst will take place at 4:30 today. On to the hardwood, the women's basketball team will head to Philadelphia to take on Drexel. This will be the first round game in the NIT Women's Tournament. And the men's lacrosse team will look to make it 4 wins in a row when they take on Sacred Heart tomorrow at 1. The Colonials have been streaking lately, and they have beaten nationally ranked Marquette and Penn State during this winning streak. And finally, the NCAA men's basketball tournament tipped off yesterday. Loyola upset Miami, and many brackets were busted when Buffalo knocked off Arizona. More March Madness action takes place today, starting at 12:15. And that is all the time we have for sports, so let's kick it over to Tyler Schlendorn with the weather. Tyler, how's it looking out there?
Well, Nick, it's looking pretty bad so far today, as we're looking at a high of 37 degrees with a low of 21, with a 54% chance of snow throughout the day. Tomorrow's weather, though, is going to be looking a little bit better with a high of 44 degrees and a low of 22, with a very low chance of rain. And now, let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. This week it's going to be going up a little bit and then going right back down when it comes to high. Looking at a good 51 degrees for a couple of days just to go right down to the cold weather. And we're looking at a low of 19 on Thursday, with the low being at its highest point on Monday with a low of 30. And with that, let's throw it back to the desk.
That's all the time we have for RMU Live today.
See you next week. Have a great weekend.